Good morning, I'm Professor Preston, but you can just call me Preston today because I'm not going to be the fictional character this time. God. This is a lot harder without a script. Basically, I have been a YouTuber for 1 year at this point, and I thought I'd just, make a video talking about that experience. And honestly, I tried writing things down in a cohesive script, and it just wasn't coming together very naturally, so I thought, maybe for this one, I'll just wing it. When I started the channel, I kind of thought I was going to make a video like this eventually. I thought it'd be cool to, maybe check in every year and just sort of talk about what it's been like doing this thing, because it's oddly, it's definitely different when you're doing it. It's definitely a different lifestyle when you're doing it professionally, but even as a hobbyist, I feel pretty different now that I do YouTube, and I think it's a worthwhile thing to talk about. So this is going to be a more casual video. I'm just going to go through the notes here, and we're just going to talk about what it's been like to be a YouTuber for 1 year. Okay, so you might have noticed that my channel is a little strange, I guess, because technically speaking, it's a video essay commentary channel, but at the start of every video, I have that opening blurb that says Professor Preston is a fictional character. This wasn't written by an actual professor of anything, such and such. And I feel like that's sort of an odd thing to do. Like, a lot of commentary channels don't try to separate themselves from the avatar that you see. And I guess I do that for a couple of important reasons. The first one is that I'm really not a professor of anything, and just because the character I play is a professor that, well, he's not even a professor in the story. In the story, he's just a student playing a professor. But I just need to make it clear off the bat that, Professor Preston isn't a professor. And you might be wondering, if you aren't a professor, and if the fictional character isn't a professor either, why have your avatar be a professor? Why set up this weird narrative around your video essays? Why not just do your video essays normally instead of having this weird story going? And I tried that, honestly. I've actually been trying to get into YouTube for years now. I sort of knew from the beginning that it was going to be a commentary channel or a video essay channel, because I don't have the resources and wherewithal to make anything else, really. So I prefer making narrative stuff, but I thought it would be best to do commentary instead. So like, for a few years I was messing around with different scripts and different essay ideas, and at a certain point I decided on doing a show called Tube Review. And in Tube Review I was just going to review different YouTubers and such. I wrote the first script, and it was a review of Doug Doug. And I actually got to the recording point, and I recorded the whole video essay, the voice part. But when I started editing it, I ran into this problem where I was like, what visuals am I going to show the audience? What music am I going to use? Stuff like that. I tried to do a more sort of traditional video essay where it's just a disembodied voice showing related footage, and something about that just wasn't working for me, and I wasn't sure why it wasn't working for me. So I spent a really long time thinking about what my style would be, what exactly I wanted to do. Because you'd think that once you decide you want to do video essays, that's it, but it does go further than that, where you're thinking, man, I want to do it my way, but what is my way? And I found this really cool YouTube channel called Leo Vader, and it's basically a commentary channel. The guy just sort of talks about whatever he wants. You should watch his video on Stuart Little. I think that's a good place to start. It's very funny. But it's surrounded in this narrative where he's trapped in this teleporting house, and he can leave the house, but when the house teleports, he teleports with it. And at first I was like, I wonder why he has like this storyline set up around his commentary channel, but then he started using like that narrative to punctuate his points and, you know, get across feelings that he wanted to get across. And that's something I feel like it's a little harder to do when you're just doing a conventional video essay, you know? And that's when I thought I need a setting or a narrative to really bring it together. I feel like it just wouldn't work if I didn't have that. Well, nowadays there's more and more people with actual PhDs making YouTube videos and actual professionals, but personally, for me, a YouTuber, most of the time, when I think of a YouTuber, I immediately think of somebody who isn't qualified, but still giving a lecture. And I thought a fake professor would be perfect, so that's what I went with. And also, I was watching a lot of clips from House MD at the time, and it was clips from that episode where House was giving a lecture at a college, and I saw like the way he wore a mix of casual clothes and professional clothes, but the professional clothes was all wrinkled and unkempt, and sort of he barely had the air of somebody professional, and the sort of tired voice. It all struck me then that that's the kind of character I wanted to play, because it kind of got across how I was feeling at the time. So that's what I ended up going with, and that's why Professor Preston basically just dresses like Dr. House.
Let's say we take 5, get some coffee, go pee.
I need to pee. This concludes our lecture. So that is how I got the idea for the channel, and it's been interesting. Interesting in the way that, by most standards, my channel has failed. Well, my most popular video has under 3,000 views, and I'm nowhere close to monetization in any regard, and a lot of my videos have 0 comments and very little engagement, and most people would probably consider that kind of abject failure. But weirdly, it's just been a really enjoyable experience for me. Before anything else, I'd just like to shout out my beautiful girlfriend, who has been very supportive since day one. Well, she showered me with plenty of praise, but also criticisms that were very much needed. You might have noticed that in my earlier videos, the music kind of was overwhelming at some points, and I know my audio balancing still isn't the best, but it's definitely better, so you can thank her for that. And honestly, it's just a joy whenever she watches my videos and tells me what she thinks. Oh, I also have a friend on Twitter named Ricky, and he's been really supportive of my projects and sharing his opinions, and that really goes a long way, and I just really want to thank them. Those two have been some of my biggest supporters, and I'm not entirely sure Professor Preston would be still going with the steam I put into it if it wasn't for them. You know, if you have a friend with a creative passion, just let them know what you think, even if it's not strictly positive. Okay, if you criticize your friend's work, do it nicely, but at least for me, even the criticisms are part of the fun. So, like, my videos don't get a ton of attention, but, you know, whenever I get a comment, it's just so exciting, you know? I was really lucky that my first video got a comment pretty soon, and it was a very nice comment, and I've gotten quite a few compliments over the last year, and they've been really, really great. I'm surprised how many people called my channel a hidden gem, because I didn't think it was that good. And hearing something that I made, something I was passionate about making, and had fun making it, get called a hidden gem, that really sort of changes something about you. I've had confidence issues for a long time, and just seeing that I can make something that genuinely reaches people, even if it's just a few people, that really meant a lot to me. But oddly enough, I think what I might appreciate even as much as the praise are the criticisms. On my Jonathan Joestar video, I praised Araki for having queer-coded characters, and somebody else commented saying that they don't think that's something that's praiseworthy and that representation is better than coding. And, you know, I think I agree with that, and I still think Araki deserves praise for having more feminine characters, more feminine men involved in his stories, but I also understood their point, and I really loved hearing a perspective that was different from mine. I set the show in a classroom environment because one of my favorite things about going to college back when I could afford it was the classroom discussions and hearing what other people thought and the ways that it sort of expanded my own mind. Another time I got helpful criticism was in one of my videos I brought up another YouTuber than the one I was talking about. And I used this other YouTuber to sort of compare and contrast and talk about why YouTuber A is great. But that sort of made YouTuber B, it sounded like I was talking shit about him. And somebody commented and they said that, you know, if you aren't going to say something nice, you can just not name drop them. And I thought that was really helpful advice, and I really appreciated just being told that. But that gets into something interesting, because I wonder if I make YouTube videos for the attention. I'm not sure if I'm making videos for getting comments, or if I'm making videos just because I like making them. It's probably a bit of both. One of the videos I'm most proud of has 0 comments on it, and it's one of the videos where it kind of sounds egotistical, but I catch myself rewatching it sometimes. It's my Christmas special from last year, and it's kind of funny that that one is one of the few that got completely ignored in terms of comments, but it got a lot of views and it got some likes, and, you know, that's pretty good. But I think it's kind of proof that I'm not doing it for the comments, because I enjoyed making that video and I don't regret making it at all, even though it didn't get any direct attention. I'm not sure what the right reason to make videos are, but I feel like making money is the wrong reason. At least it shouldn't be where you start, especially not on YouTube, because that just completely goes against the spirit of the website, I think. There was one video I think I made for the wrong reasons, and it was the one talking about my experience with COVID. I made a video covering DugDug, and it did really well, and a lot of people, that's when people started calling me a hidden gem. And then I made another video which didn't perform as good, but it got more comments than my other videos, so I was really looking to ride that wave, sort of. But then I got COVID. When I was back in good enough shape to make YouTube videos again, I was sort of desperate to make a comeback, and I was so pissed off that I lost all that time to COVID that I kind of couldn't think of anything else to make a video on. But the actual making of the video, like the script and the recording and the editing process, I wasn't enjoying it. I was sort of forcing myself to make that video, and it was all for nothing because nobody really paid attention to it, and I can see why. It's just me kind of complaining for a long time. I made that video because I was scared that my following was going to leave me. I made the video because I had to get a video out there. I was like, you know, it's been over a month since I uploaded. I have to make a video, and this is the only idea I have right now, so I'm gonna do it whether I like it or not. And it's honestly one of my regrets that I pushed myself so hard to make a video I just didn't feel anything for. But, you know, my friend Ricky, he said that he personally enjoyed it, and that it that he liked it, and that, if people got value out of it, I guess that's fine. I don't know what the right reason to make a video is, but I think a good measure of I'm making the right video is that I am enjoying the making of it. And that should be my goal as a YouTuber, is that I make videos that I like making. And it especially provides a cushion, because if I upload that video and it doesn't get any attention, at least I had fun making it. I think the journey has been well worth it, because I feel different about myself. Like, legitimately, my brain is just sort of in a different place now, because it's, simply from the fact that I really truly made things. I took things out of my head and brought them into reality, and some of them were received really positively. And I think that sort of changed how I look at myself, and it's changed how I think of my abilities. Recently, I came out with a video about how I turned 25, and it was sort of a kind of existential video expressing some feelings I've had about life for a long time. And somebody said that it's contender for their favorite video this year. And that's wild to me, because there's so many creators. The competition for that position of their favorite video of the year is so vast. And there's so many people I think are way more talented than me. And that anybody considers me in the running for that is just crazy. And also on Twitter, somebody direct messaged me talking about how much the video connected with them. And it's just sort of changed how I've thought of myself. My girlfriend was also very supportive of that video. She told me that she was impressed, and it's like, wow, I can impress people? Like, I'm capable of making a video that impresses people? I'd never thought that my hands could make something like that. I think that doing art, because I can't help but feel YouTube videos are an art, and I can't help but see myself as an artist. Not a high artist or anything, or a good artist, but, an artist in the most casual sense. But creating and making things is well worth it, because you really learn a lot about yourself when you make something. Even if what you make isn't that good, the effort of putting yourself out there, the effort of digging deep in and finding something in you, or looking far out and finding something in the world around you, and creating an expression of that, it really forces you to explore yourself and explore your surroundings and challenge what you are and what you can be. And I've come out of this experience just feeling a lot more connected to myself. I feel like a stranger less often when I look in the mirror. And I think that's a really cool thing. If you ever thought about creating something, if you ever thought of trying your hand at making something, I say go for it. Even if you have to start with the most simple tools and at the bottom level, it's so worth it to try and make things, I think. There's a piece of advice I'd like to give. So, my second video ever was about the big YouTuber Doug, and a lot of Doug fans saw my video because it got recommended to them, and that's why it's my best performing video. And I just got a huge flood of positivity and a lot of nice comments like that. And from then on, I had like a good few commenters, and there were a lot of people, like I said, who called me a hidden gem and stuff. But then I'll just show you an analogy for what happened. Hey, I just wanted to tell you that your videos are amazing and I think you're the best YouTuber ever and I can't wait to see what you make next. Oh, thank you so much. That's such a nice comment. I can't wait to see what you comment on my next video. So yeah, it kind of turned into semi-radio silence. Like, there's some of my videos that didn't have any comments on them. And for a while, I thought that they just disappeared, and I was sort of like, oh, I thought I was a hidden gem. Where'd you go? You know? But, that person who said that my 25th birthday video is contender for their favorite video, they said, strong contender for my favorite video of the year so far, great job as always. Great job as always. Now, I don't recognize this person. I don't think that they commented on my videos before this point. And that means that they've been watching me for a while, because they said great job as always. And they really like my work, but they were, silent. And I think that's what you need to realize is, even if you don't get any comments, that doesn't mean you don't have fans. What other advice can I give? When you're recording, try to sit comfortably, because in my earliest videos I was sort of hunched over and craning my neck. That can really affect your recording. Just, my throat felt really tight and my back hurt, and just try to sit comfortably and find a way to talk casually into the microphone. The more comfortable you are sitting there, the easier it's going to be to record. Hot tea is really good for the voice. I drink tea pretty much every time I record. A bit of lemon or honey in it does wonders for the voice. I usually turn the AC off so that you can't hear it during the recording, but then I get really hot, so drink some ice water if you get hot. I really, really appreciate all of the nice comments I've gotten over the last year, and all the support and all the likes. It's meant so much to me, and I was just really surprised that I can make something worthy of that, and it just means so much to me that anybody at all finds any value in what I do here. So I just wanted to thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know what you think, and thank you to people who criticized me too, because those were just as helpful. And I am going to try and put out a few more videos this year, hoping for a total of 12, like averaging one video per month. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Don't usually do outros like this, but whatever.